peace or not. Everyone wants peace. If it's not a just peace, it's not sustainable. And that's the key issue. The great majority of the Palestinian people indeed want peace based on international law, human rights, that apply to everyone, to all humans. We don't want any special standards to apply in this conflict zone, in this colonial situation. We want the same rules to apply to everyone.
One of the founders of the State of Israel said that there were myths surrounding the creation of Israel. One of them is that Israel wants peace.
This is what Israel fears, because the key to the Israeli framing of things, the way Israel frames its case, which is very powerful, and it's a soundbite. It's simple. Israel is a small Western democracy defending itself against Arab terrorism. That's it. And there's no mention of occupation. And of course, what's included in that, and then what we say, is that we're the victims.
First step would be an acknowledgement that peace is possible. And none of this game playing, yeah, we'll talk peace, but to actually believe that it is possible. And then it'll take a million small steps on behalf of millions.
When you're not there and you're reading papers about the settlements and land that's been taken and occupied illegally, you know, it's there on paper. When you actually see it, you immediately understand what this issue is about.
We are 3 families here. My house, the first one, and in the middle, my uncle house, and in the third, my uncle 2 house. In Sunday morning, at 5 in the morning, the police come to our house and take us and put us in the street. They go to my mother bedroom, and say for her, go outside. And my mother say for her, wait, I want to wear my clothes. She wear pajama, and Islam for us, it's haram to go outside without hijab. They didn't let her wear anything and threw her outside. And my father afraid about my little brother. He's 8-year-old, and he took my brother and want to go outside. They threw him outside and said, for us, it's not your house. Now we are staying in the street for a week. The guy sleep in the street and the woman sleep in the car.
What happened to your arm?
They find me. Why let the settlers live in my house?
Yeah.
Okay, if I do this with the settlers, they let me do this.
Yeah.
They let me punish them, children. They let me take them house.
Yeah.
They didn't let me do that with them. Okay, why they do with us? We are human.
Yeah.
We have heart like them.
Because they're taking our land, they're taking our houses, they divided our land so that we are against the war, we are against the apartheid, you know?
Berlin has become the symbol for the struggle that's taking place, right? How does this one small village of 1,700 people that's been there for generations, and basically all they want to do is get on with their life. They want to know that their land is secure and that they can keep doing what they've been doing for generations, which is farming and being self-sufficient, taking care of their families, and all of a sudden they have this massive security wall going through their land.
This is, they throw tear gas with hands or with guns.
Like hand.
Yeah, but this they put in the jeeps and they shoot 50 bombs in one time.
they've also had the support from a lot of international activists through the International Solidarity Movement. So they often have other people show up on a Friday as well. In fact, they've even had what's called the elders, people like Desmond Tutu and Jimmy Carter, who have been there and been very interested.
You know, I had with me here Maureen Maguire, who was this Nobel Prize winner. We were standing here holding a press conference, and they shot her with rubber bullets.
Really? So that's where they are, right over there?
Yeah, and they usually, when now we are here, but when there is a demonstration, we cannot even get close. They start shooting while we are down there. But you see, each time we created democracy, they slaughtered it. In 1976, the first time, Peres had this idea that he would allow free municipality elections to replace the PLO with local leadership. We went to elections. We elected 95% who were, against his will. So he dismissed them. Within 2 years, they were all dismissed or deported or killed.
One of the tragedies of the Middle East, it's not just those that live by the sword die by the sword. The real martyrs in the Middle East are the ones that have died speaking on behalf of peace.
What they're up against is enormous, right? They're taking on the system. They're taking on the system of occupation and all that it means. But their adaptability, their resilience, their commitment to try different tactics and to do it under the philosophy that it's non-violent and it's peaceful, that gives them power.
Et ça rentre dans toute la problématique qu'il y a au-dessus de 240 résolutions de l'ONU, dont un certain nombre qui touchent sur l'illégalité des colonies, l'illégalité du mur qui est construit. Israël a le droit de construire un mur, mais chez lui, pas chez le voisin, qui est la Palestine, pour prendre des terres, pour prendre du territoire.
We should not underestimate this, and I think that's why a lot of people are watching and finding ways to support them, and obviously that's what we've got to do back here in Canada as well, so that they can feel the strength of those voices coming from afar, that they're not isolated.
Because at the same time we're building the house, the wall's being built right here. I mean, they're building every day another few
wow,
slabs.
that is a big one.
Okay.
You are okay?
I'm fine. These are two members of the Canadian Parliament.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Libby and Boris.
Welcome.
There's another Canadian Parliament member.
Welcome to you.
He's the owner of the house.
Happy to meet you.
And
I am Yunus Swear.
so it's coming along, huh? Okay. It's coming okay.
Bonjour.
This part of Anat is in Jerusalem. So his house, and see there's a house next door that we rebuilt last year that was demolished. These houses are demolished either by the Jerusalem municipality or the Ministry of Interior. And the second house that we're building is on the other side of Anat, which is in Area C of the West Bank, which is under Israeli control, which is demolished by what we call the civil administration. So you've got 3 Israeli government bodies demolishing Palestinian homes. Israel's demolished more than 24,000 Palestinian homes in the occupied territory since 1967. And what's important really, right away to say, is not for security reasons. These are not houses of terrorists. This fellow, whose house it is, has never been in jail, he's not political. It's either because Israel refuses to give building permits to Palestinians because they either want them to leave the country or to confine them to little islands of the country. So even though it's his own land, he's not allowed to build. Or houses are demolished in military invasions, like in the invasion of Gaza, 4,000 houses were demolished. and not for any, as collateral damage. So these houses are all demolished for reasons other than security. Which means then if security doesn't explain it, then something else is going on. And that's a pro-Israeli, a proactive Israeli policy of taking control of these territories and confining the Palestinians to the islands. So we rebuild as a form of political resistance to occupation. It's illegal to rebuild. It takes tremendous courage on the part of the Palestinian families.
So this house might be demolished again?
It could be demolished again. Yeah. But the Palestinians really are in jeopardy. So this really is a resistance.
The Jewish nation, they've made such huge contributions in so many areas of human endeavor. To be led almost through maze into this dead end, and not to see that there are other options.
Private sector here in Gaza is part of of democratic life of civil society, and by the destruction of that area, I mean, Israel has really destroyed some hopes for the future as well.
In this area on the right side, in fact, it used to be a camp, tent camp for the displaced people, but it seems that after 7 months the people here in this area fed up from waiting and waiting and waiting, and I mean, just the kind of promises to them that everything will be okay, they will return to their houses will be rebuilt again, and now nobody is available here, and they used to be very angry in the last visits. They were very aggressive as a matter of what happened to them, and nobody is moving or doing anything.
What struck me the most was how the bombing was very much aimed at destroying Gazan society overall, and particularly their economy.
Being a victim is a very powerful place to be, because a victim can't be held responsible. A victim's a victim. You can't hold a victim accountable for its act. You can't hold Israel accountable in international law for what it's doing if it's the victim.
All these demolished area and demolished buildings used to be factories. This one on the corner, the blue one, it used to be a petrol station.
Comment se fait-il qu'on a aussi détruit complètement dans les derniers jours de la guerre alors qu'il n'y avait plus de résistance le parc industriel au complet? On a détruit les serres pour l'agriculture, 70% de l'agriculture. On a détruit ou endommagé 53 édifices des Nations Unies. On a détruit des écoles, on a détruit des mosquées. C'est plus que juste le Hamas qu'on est allé attaquer durant cette guerre.
نبي ديفيس عضو من البرلمان.
أولادها لو سهلة تفضل.
If you want to go in, please.
Thank you.
Richard.
So how big is your family in the tent? How many people are here?
كم شخص تسكنوا هنا في الخيمة هذه؟ 5.
5. And you've been here since the war?
انتوا هنا من بعد الحرب مباشرة؟
من بعد الحرب.
من فبراير
بعد كنا مرتاحين نفسيا وكله وعندنا بيت وكله شغل. وانا هنا بعدها بالمكان وشي، بس مش عارف العالم كله يعني ايش بتفرج فيه، بتطلع علينا بتصور علينا، بيجوا بتفرجوا ولا يهمكوا ولا ابصر ايش
مش نتيجة.
لا زالت
المعابر مقفلة.
يعني حاجة غريبة جدا.
هل الشعب الفلسطيني يعني ملوش حقوق مثل أي شعوب أخرى؟ أي سؤال بشكل عام يعني. الحكومة طبعا، ولكن الأمر أمر الحصار يعني ما فيش شيء.
هذا مع الشوب بنجيب سطل بنحطه في المي وبنطلعها.
The water, where does it come from?
المية لما تستعملوا المية اللي بتستعملوها مثلا بتقول بتحط الولد فيها، منين المية بتيجي؟
مية بيجيبوا لنا مية هيكل.
هي من لهم عن طريق الهيئة الخيرية، تبرعت بحمامات يعني ممكن يستخدموها. طبعا حمامات قليلة، تقريبا في موجود 8 أو 9 حمامات صغيرة، ولكن هي الموجود يعني ايش بدهم يعمل.
Please tell him that we understand the frustration that things are not changing and that this is not anywhere close to adequate human habitation, and that the reason that we are here is to go to our country to do everything we can in our own country to make sure there is international attention to improve the situation here and that people can have basic human rights.
هي موافقة معك تماما ان هذا وضع غير مقبول، مش المفروض اي انسان يعيش في الوضع ده، وهي جايين هنا عشان يحاولوا على الاقل مع حكومتهم اللي يقدروا يتكلموا معاها يحاولوا يحسنوا الوضع، يحاولوا ان شاء الله كندا تقدر تقدم شيء.
We want to encourage other parliamentarians to come and see with their own eyes.
كانوا في القدس، كنا في القدس.
يعني في القدس بيشردوا الناس، بيطلعوا الناس وبيجرفوا بيوتهم عليهم في القدس، وهذا بسموها حق إسرائيل إنها يعني تسكن الناس اللي ملهاش حق في بيوتها وتطلع الناس اللي لها الحق في البيوت.
حصلت عنا أصعب كمان حاجة.
بيطلعوا الناس من القدس من بيوتها، وبعدين حتى أمريكا بدها توقف المستوطنات وعلى الفاضي، كلام على الفاضي يعني. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل.
And may God help them.
Lorsqu'on était sur les plages à Gaza, écoutez, on est sur le bord de la Méditerranée. C'est beau, c'est le paradis, ça devrait être le paradis. Il y a ces garçons-là qu'on a vus, des enfants, des jeunes hommes, des jeunes garçons en fait, qui s'amusaient, qui étaient pris en main, Dieu merci pour l'ONU, et qui étaient pris en main par l'ONU pour un camp d'été où ils venaient s'amuser. Ces enfants-là sont la moitié, c'est-à-dire 50% de la population de la Palestine a moins de 18 ans. Il faut que ces enfants-là, qui sont pleins de vie, pleins d'espoir, pleins de sourires, pleins de jeux dans leur tête, aient la même chance, les mêmes capacités de vie, le même droit de vivre que le jeune Israélien qui vit pas loin là, de sa plage, là, sur la même Méditerranée, pas trop loin, qui ait la même opportunité d'égalité des chances dans les vies.
We expect that some of the effects of this war to be shown in the next generation because of the impact. In some time, the impact on some people is different from one individual to the other. So one person is floridly depressed and obviously in need of treatment, And another, the other extreme, someone who doesn't look like he has any effect, when he in fact was suffering so much. In this war, children have lost their father as a protector. Already they have lost the father as a provider because of the siege. You know, the siege has rendered so many people unemployed. So fathers who used to bring things home now are begging for their cigarettes. So during the war, they lost the father as a protector because no one was feeling safe in Gaza, as it was expressed by John Ging. There was no safe place in Gaza. And the fathers could not protect their children. This feeling is so important and damaging for the psyche of a child when he knows and realizes that this world is not safe. He is not safe.
Et tant et aussi longtemps qu'Israël va être maintenu impunément à faire des choses comme ça, les Palestiniens vont continuer à souffrir. Il faut que la communauté internationale, à un moment donné, parle à Israël puis lui dire, regarde, là, on a assez, on a le ras-le-bol. Il y a une question de respect ici là, envers le peuple palestinien.
Going to international court systems is a way of reframing, because then Israel is seen by the courts of the world as the perpetrator. Israel's the occupying power. Israel's a strong power. It's the one that's responsible. That's why Israel was so upset at the International Court of Justice ruling on the wall, because that's exactly what the court said. And that's a very dangerous, because if Israel is perceived as the strong party by the world, then it's going to be held accountable for what it's doing.
في اتفاقيات مع السلطة الفلسطينية مع الجانب الإسرائيلي يسمح للصيادين بدخول ل 20 ميل بحري سابقا في بداية وجود السلطة، لكن اليوم المساحة المسموح الصيد فيها زي ما تكلمنا 3 ميل على مساحة 35 كيلو على مستوى الشاطئ. لكن إذا بنتكلم الكلام هذا على 3600 صياد موجودين، بالإضافة للمهن الملاصقة لعملية الصيد اللي بنبلوا التجار، حمالين السمك، كل المهن الملاصقة بالصيد. فهناك حوالي 50,000 نسمة بيعتاشوا من وراء عملية الصيد. والنتيجة في المسافة هذه الصغيرة بضطر الصيادين انهم مش لاقين شيء للسمك الصغير اللي كان موجود امامكم الحين، وبقدر اوريكم اياه هي موجود. كثير من الأسر اللي موجودة على مستوى قطاع غزة من الصيادين تلقوا مساعدات من الوكالة، وفعلا يعني مساعدة كبيرة جدا إنها تفتح بيوت ما تغلقش هذه البيوت، وتشغيلهم في صيانة شبكهم، في حراسة ممتلكاتهم، في إحصاء سمكي، يعني في عدة مجالات. طبعا هذه بتفتح حوالي 220 بيت على مستوى قطاع غزة لمدة 3 شهور، ومن المشاريع الناجحة جدا منذ 2006 حتى هذا اليوم. طبعا أنا بكرر شكري للبرلمانيين ولغير البرلمانيين لأنهم مهتمين بالقضية الفلسطينية، لكن أنا بعتب على كل شعوب العالم بما فيها الكنديين والعرب كل شعوب العالم، لأنه مفترض أنه يكون عندهم عزة نفس أكثر من هيك، واحترام لأنفسهم اللي راعوا الشعب الفلسطيني والظلم والجور اللي واقع على هالفئة الصغيرة جدا. وطبعا مش بتكلم هلهم، بتكلم لكل الزوار اللي بيجوا، لأنه مفترض أنه يكون هناك في تفهم للوضع الفلسطيني، للشعب الفلسطيني، ومساعدة هذا الشعب ورفع الظلم عنه بجميع الأشكال. مش في ايدهم العصا السحرية انهم يحلونا، لا، احنا برضو مهتمين باهتمامهم فينا، لكن احنا بنطالب كحكومات وكشعوب، والكلمة تبعتهم اللي حتصل حيكون لها تأثير لو مش اليوم بكرة، لأنه حتفهم الحقيقة عن الشعب الفلسطيني.
In the first Intifada, children were throwing stones at the Israeli soldiers. 12 years later, from the pool of children who were throwing stones came the suicide bombers. That was a process, but the process started with a serious traumatic experience of these children witnessing their fathers being beaten by Israeli soldiers. At that time, just to make it a little bit clearer, we asked our children to play the famous game Arabs and Jews, and 60% or more of the children wanted to play the role of the Jew, because they said they understood that the Jew meant power and their father is powerless.